Namaste! I'm Steven.
And I'm Candice.
And we're from Arcana Mind Body Spirit, located in Toronto, Canada.
And guess what day it is?
New Moon! All right, so it is time for a new moon in Capricorn.
You know what that means, right? You better work.
I love me some Capricorn energy. Capricorn is, I love all the signs, but there's something that's like, get to it, get to work, put the pen to paper.
Practical.
Yeah.
Very practical, hardworking, focused, very driven. Like, I feel like the Capricorn energy is like, I see my goal, I'm going to get my goal, my fate is that,
Yes.
I've written it, and I'm going.
I'm going there and get out of my way. You're either on my bus or you're not on my bus.
That's right, just so you know. Everybody else.
Yeah, and I love that kind of energy, especially at the beginning of the year. And right now, if you follow astrology, you'll know that Pluto is in the stars heavy right now, and it's really influencing this new moon. And Pluto is a great planet for transformation. So having those energies of transformation and shift going along with this Capricorn, I feel like this is such a great time to get going.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, for today's episode, we are going to be diving into something that we do every single new moon together.
Yep.
If you've joined in and seen some of our other videos, this new moon for us is super casual. We like to clear the space. We like to smudge, and we're going to go through some different types of energy clearing that we have.
Yeah, different ways that you can go about that. We're going to do some intentions, some gratitude work, taking a look at what we want to let go of. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that maybe were holding us back, or maybe are holding us back now, whatever kind of fears or whatever anything that comes up. And that can kind of maybe help steer the goals. We're going to pull from the Oracle deck here. And we're going to release and really draw in that new energy, that practical work energy, and get started.
I'm ready for it. So why don't we clear some space? Okay, so we're going to get our fires burning here. In our cauldron, we're working with a lot of the medicine of the north right now for the season of winter. And a lot of the things that are in here were naturally harvested from our gardens. So there's a lot of cedars. There's all kinds of things in here. Spruce.
Probably some marigold in there. I had a lot of that this summer.
Yeah, and I know. Yeah.
Here in Canada.
We
can have that.
And then, of course, we also have some mugwort. There's some wormwood. There's all kinds of stuff in our cauldron.
Yeah,
so
flowers.
We like to just keep adding different things to it. And every once in a while, we'll sprinkle a little bit of oils in there.
I have a financial abundance incense here that I'm just going to casually toss in as well to it. I also really do enjoy hearing more about that in there. I really also enjoy the Madame Phoenix's Goddess Room Spray. I use this at home all the time. I love the smell. And it's really good if you can't have a lot of heavy scents. I know some people it bothers them, makes their eyes itchy and stuff like that. Thank God I do not have that problem, or my daughter, because I like to burn a lot of stuff at home. But this is really good. And, even if you live in an apartment building, again, I'm very lucky. In my apartment, no one seems to care, and I've had the cauldron burning hot. But this is a good alternative, and it works the same as lighting cedar or white sage or anything else. And so definitely suggest.
Yes, Madame Phoenix is a fantastic line. They have all kinds of different essential oils, and they do
candles. She does a lot of different things.
Kinds of stuff. So great brand. Check that out. All right, we're going to fast forward a little bit here, and we are going to clear. We're going to get some salvia piana here, some white sage. And it's always good to smudge the front and the back and the feet. We get right in there. You ready?
Let's do it.
we'll probably end up doing a whole series of videos about different uses of oils, but we always like to use oils that are in season or have the same energies as whatever the moon cycle is right now. So we have some special blends here that we're using for this evening, but we always like to put them across all of our key lines, our chi lines in our body. So you can always put it up top for what you know, on your hands for what you do, and on your feet for where you go. Sometimes I like to put a little bit on my heart. When it comes to sound work and energy work, you want to shake off using any kind of rattle, any kind of, this is a tambourine we're using, if you have a seed rattle, anything like that to shake off all the old energy.
If you don't have a tool, you can also use movement. And shake it out just like in nature. Animals. Have you ever seen an animal that has gone through trauma? Like if a gazelle gets bit by a predator, you can see them literally shake out the trauma before they re-enter their pack, right? Or their circle, whatever animal it is.
I feel like that's a thing that humans should take on. And if you have a besom, a broom, any kind of tool along that line, it's always good to brush off the old energy as well. When it comes to using a broom like so, you always want to brush away from your heart. You want to brush the energy away when you're trying to clear it. When you're trying to call in, bring it towards. But usually with a besom, you're trying to out with the old, and you move that in. Let's do this one. And just a touch of sweetgrass to add that sweetness of life. All right, I think we're clear.
Yes. Okay, so this is a good time since we're releasing or cleansing, kind of got the energy out of our bodies, to think about what we want to let go of. I mean, you can visualize what you want to let go of long term, but new moon, we're like thinking of the cycle.
We're thinking of the lunar cycle, which is approximately 28 days. Lasts for 28 days. We have 13 of them all year. And working within that cycle, you want to think of the things that you're trying to let go of in that period of time.
So what you would release. So if you're thinking about new moon in Capricorn, we already talked about how it's like focused, working energy, getting things done, having goals and pursuing them with a very clear and straightforward kind of practical way. So maybe think about what you would let go of, what fears or what's maybe holding you back from getting those goals. Is it fear? Is it fear of failure? Is it financial things that are maybe holding you back? Not feeling like you have enough time, not feeling like you have enough support, things that maybe you want to think about. Maybe it's really just in you and not actually physically manifesting in other people that are maybe holding you back. Like, what can you do instead? So maybe like releasing those fears and kind of going forward and being more open to what you can actually get from your environment, from yourself, and from your support circle. So, Stephen, what are you going to let go of?
What am I going to let go of? I think I need to let go of a little bit of expectation. Because maybe things are going to come in different avenues. Things can look different, but they can still be equally as successful. They can be... I'm going to release my expectation for the next 28 days and just see where my choices and my ambitions and my hard work, where it takes me. What about you?
I think I need to let go of, I guess it's kind of like expectations, but I'll say it in the words that are flowing around in my brain. I need to let go of the picture that I create inside of my head of how things should look, should be, whether it be the end result, how I get there, what I need to get there. I mean, those are all kind of like expectations, but I'm really like picturing these things, right? Like I understand as much as anyone not having a financial abundance to get a lot of the things that I want, and I need to let go of that idea because I can get the things I want. I just have to go about it in a different way.
Right.
So when you let go of expectations, then I think that it lets you rewire the path that you are going to take because I'm not sticking to this one visual that I've been holding on to.
Right.
So I think
that's
kind of like
the
same vibe.
We release.
Get out of here.
Get out. Bye. Bye.
See you later. Bye. And then not come back. Maybe I'll change you.
So now that we've cleared and we've made space for these things, it's time to talk about how we're going to fill it. So generally at this point, we spend some time opening up our books and doing some writing. And there's usually two portions to this. We usually do gratitude work, followed by our
goals.
I guess our goal, our dream list, our wild ambitions.
Yeah, and we're again focusing on it for this cycle.
Yeah. If you are someone who follows lunar cycles, you know that in the first 2 weeks after the new moon, that's when you get the work done. You start the project, you start the intention, you do all of that work. By the full moon and all the energies after the full moon, everything is shifted. This is about integration, it's about inner medicine, it's about healing and releasing. Coming up later in the year, we're actually going to do a whole series based on how to make the lunar cycle work for you. So on today's video, as you see on new moon, it is time to set that intention.
Yeah.
Time to get started.
Yeah. I think the goals can relate to your year, like your long-term goals.
Yeah.
Like these short-term goals in these 2 weeks can relate to helping you get to where you want to get by like next year, 2022. I almost brain farted saying 2022. But yeah, to get there, these goals can be helping you work towards that. Or it might be something that is a short-term goal. It's unrelated. It could be very simple. It could be like a health thing, a diet thing.
Yeah, I often think that there's a river, there's a stream, and all of these small things, even if it is like dietary and things like that, I wouldn't say that's a small goal.
Yeah, it's still
I think
working
that's something that is on your
time.
river. It's something that's going towards that long-term plan.
I think the goals should be specific though. So because we're working with 2 weeks, don't just pick something like, I want to be happy. I want to be happy too. But I'm going to pick something a little more specific that I know that I can focus in on with this Capricorn energy, be practical. What's going to make me happy? What are some things? If it's going to be health, okay, for 2 weeks, I'm going to maybe, calorie count. I'm going to make sure I do 10 minutes of meditation when I wake up and 10 minutes of meditation before I go to bed. I'm going, whatever it may be, something specific that is working towards what is going to make you happy.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to spend time with, I want to be happy, but how do I do that? Maybe you need to spend some time on that.
And this is why we often get out, you'll notice in a lot of our videos, we do a lot of auto prompting, we do a lot of work, because sometimes the answers aren't right there for you. And sometimes when you are in flow state, it's easy, these answers can come to you. Some people do it by writing, other people do it by thinking, speaking out loud. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
But to your point, we can all be happy. What will contribute to your happiness in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just spending a little bit of time outside. Maybe it's earthing. Maybe it's having a bath. Maybe it's affirmations. Maybe it's there's so much you can do.
And I think it'll be great when we release our moon cycle material. You'll know ahead of time what's coming. So you can actually already have thought about what's going to make me happy in a general sense. So you'll know, new moon's coming. I am going to choose these goals and I'm going to focus in on this. and it's all going to start coming together. Yeah. So I think that will be a huge help. And I mean, in the meantime, you got Google, you got Pinterest, you got some other things where you can at least be like, oh, what's today? What's coming up? I mean, obviously we'll have reminders on our YouTube channel, so check that out for sure. But until then, there's other sources that you can get like at least some dates on, so that you're thinking ahead. And then when you come to the videos, you're kind of ready to have some specific goals and know what you're going to work on.
Shall we write?
Let's do it.
Starting with our gratitude list. You know, sometimes when you are trying to find that goal you're manifesting, when you're trying to articulate what you're looking for, I think we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and that could also be a reason why things are very broad, because we're like, oh, it's the moon, I need to have that right goal. Remember, there's 13 just this year.
Yeah.
So all of these small goals, like imagine you achieved 13 things in 1 year cycle. That would be a pretty amazing year. So make them specific enough that you know you got 13 chances, right? It doesn't have to be all that pressure.
Yeah. I mean, we're busy. I am a single mother. And when I was in school, like sometimes a new moon ceremony would be me looking out the window and saying what I wanted, and then going to bed.
Doing the dishes.
You know what I mean? Like I got my toothbrush ready, and I'm hitting the hay. I'm done. So thank you, Mother Moon. Like I had to go to bed. I had to be up. Like, you know what I mean? So don't kill yourself over like having some sort of, again, this is what I was talking about before. One of my goals: releasing the picture that you're making in your head of what something needs to look like. It looks like what it looks like.
Yeah.
We're real people living real lives, and it doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be a setup. It doesn't have to be every tool in the chest. It could be whatever you have. That could be time, availability, to or access to different things. Whatever you can do it.
At the end of the day, we're the magic.
That's right. Yeah. Skis.
How was that for you? Down below, if there's anything that you'd like to share about anything that you're grateful for,
let us know. I did 3. I did focus on 3 things I was grateful for. What were your top 3 things that you were grateful for?
All right. Well, why don't we start with that?
Sure. Do you want to go first, or
let's do one and one and one. So I will start. Something when I'm generally writing, I just kind of write and then see what comes out. And there's usually about 3 focuses within for me. So the first theme that I saw come up is I'm so grateful for the people in my life. I'm grateful for my husband, my chosen family, the people that I surround myself with on an everyday. I guess my discernment over the last few years has gotten on point because I love every single one of them so much. So it's a huge source of gratitude that after all these years, we've had a lot of the same friends for over 10 years, most of them. Some 20. Wow. What about you?
So my first one was kind of the same thing. So I'm actually just going to read to you more or less what I wrote. So I'm grateful for my COVID bubble, especially Stephen and your partner and my daughter. Without them physically in my life over the last year, I don't know if I would have made it. And that could not be more true. Family doesn't always have to look the way you expect or the way it has been told to you thus far. I am thankful for my modern family.
Aww.
And I am. I'm so thankful.
So thankful.
Yeah. This year, last year, this year's only a couple weeks. Let's give it a chance. Let's give it a goddamn chance.
It's 7 days.
Yes. Let's give it a chance here. But no, like 2020, if I did not have you, your partner, and my daughter specifically, physically
in our bubble,
in my space,
in the space,
I would not have been able to make it through. I know there's a lot of people that had to do that, and I'm not trying to take away from the things that people had to do. I feel very lucky to have been able to have you guys on a very regular basis, physically sharing our homes and just being just us. But I know that like my mental health would not have been okay. Finishing school alone, and like my daughter would have suffered greatly with my mental health diminishing, and it just wouldn't have been a good scene. So I had an outlet, and I'm so grateful for that. So
grateful.
I could not be more grateful for that. Yay, I love you.
I love you
so much.
Mostest.
And family doesn't have to look like what it does.
Family usually doesn't.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't look like the movies.
No.
Like, hey, the movies are liars. They lied to us.
I think there's a lot of things on TV that lie to us these days.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's just
like get
that out. Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's called appropriation.
We can sell it. Right? Nope.
Spelling. Yeah.
Keep some of it. Keep some.
Okay. All right. So number 2 for me is a little bit broader. It's kind of more of a concept than anything, but it's perspective that I was taught in the last year.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I was having trouble sort of articulating my thoughts, and perspective was the word of it. Just the idea of how much shifted and how much loss came along with the entire last cycle of the year. And it would have been easy to only look at what was missing.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with you and our chosen family, our bubble, it was very easy to sort of redefine what happiness means together. Mm-hmm. And being able to, like, at the beginning of the year, I really could not cook. And I would go over to your place and I would be watching you cook. Mm-hmm. And now, today, you came over and you watched me cook. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a huge cycle. I know that it seems very simple, but I mean, we're talking a little bit more than just heating up noodles and stuff. Like, we're doing like good, like chopping the stuff.
You watched me make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Kitchen witch! And then you put the bread in the toaster.
Taking notes.
Like, wow, toaster. Is that how that works? Oh. No, don't put a knife in it.
Scissors?
Let's plug it in and on.
Anyways, but no, really doing a great work. I don't know if you can see around us the growing plants and the importance, the happiness that I got from it.
Yeah.
And the idea that maybe I was traveling a lot. That we were able to create this. I love traveling, don't get me wrong, I can't wait to get on a goddamn airplane, but I don't need that for external happiness because it's all right here. It is literally all right here.
You had asked for wanting to find your root system and feel rooted and like family, and there's different things that you asked for.
My 2019 was like that was what I was.
And I gave you a plant, and you were like, for what was it, Christmas? And you're like, oh, this plant, it's like, I'm gonna kill it, blah, blah, blah. And it was like almost dead. And I'm like, you can't just squirt the plant.
I was like,
water the plant. And then eventually things changed. COVID happened, and you, like you said, your whole life changed.
My whole life changed. My whole perspective has changed.
And the plant's roots got healthy, and the plant's
it's like making
roots
babies over
and
here.
And everything rooted, and it was grounded, and you have had home, and you're at home. All the time.
But so for me, number 2, perspective. What about you?
Okay, so my second one, And this is the great thing about me specifically is that I can literally write anything in my journal or book because no one will be able to read it. My writing is wild. So my second one, that's not one of my things I'm grateful for. My second one is I am grateful for my able body. A body I have trusted, I've tested both physically and emotionally over the years. Still, it is strong, it protects, it works, it carries, it loves, it dances, it rests, it stretches. It is beautiful and it is mine. I love and cherish this body and and what it has given me. And it has given me the greatest honor of my life, my daughter. This body is magic.
Magica.
That's what I'm grateful for. Yes. I've had a career as a dancer. I have birthed a child. I was honored with being able to have a child naturally, which was an amazing experience with my midwives. And I did it at home, which was also amazing. I was able to breastfeed, which was another amazing thing, and feel my body transform throughout the pregnancy and then transform back. And I've fluctuated between weights and all different kinds of things. And even now, as I'm like getting back into movement and getting back into focusing on my physical health, I can feel different parts of my muscle memory coming back. And I'm thinking about like just as a dancer, I know you know, and if anyone else there as well, when you don't stretch, it's like it goes back. And then you just stretch more and you have to keep pushing and stretching and changing. And it's so crazy how much your body can do. And I just, I wasn't expecting to write this, but it just came to me. And I just am feeling very grateful for the body that I have and honoring it and cherishing it and loving it a little harder and a little more.
Like, you have to understand how beautiful this is for me to hear you say it. Because again, going back, you just said the same thing to me, but I think you spent a long time in a place of, I wouldn't say like self-loathing, but like self-unsurety, maybe, just being in a place of like not feeling comfortable in this space and health issues and things like that. We did a lot of work on health and healing and things like that. And now to hear you say an unexpected prompt about extreme gratitude for your beautiful temple is like...
Yeah. It's good.
Self-love.
Yeah. And that was the two main goals last year were like literally finish school, self-love.
Self-love. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Number 3, in all of my babblings, there was something that was really beautiful that came across to me, and I'm really grateful for what my life affords me to do safely. In a sense, I'm really grateful for the privilege that my life has. I feel that, like, I look outside and I'm so grateful for the people who have to go and do the work and do the front line. And like, I think every day, like, I spend time sending my thoughts to the people they don't get to work from home. Mm-hmm. That is not a luxury. Like, there's so many of us who are like, oh, I have to sit at home and I don't get to do things. A reoccurring theme that kept coming up was like, I'm afforded that luxury. We've been able to turn my business to be able to stay at home, and I'm just very grateful for that for where we live in the world geographically, for the systems in place in our country and in our city that allow us to stay healthy, and the people who are relied upon for that. I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude towards this, the people who are making my life easier right now. I'm sending out so much energy and warm love, and like, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Like, thank you. I just want to say a huge, huge thank you for all of that energy.
And I think going off of that, and also because we know each other beyond this, going off of that, I think that recognizing and being and honoring the ways in which you are able to be safe and live in these things. They're privileges.
Yeah.
And we both have them. And we were both saying that from a space as a person of color and as a gay man, to have privileges, to be safe, to be able to work, to make money, to not have to worry about a lot of things. When we think about people that are working and we give thanks to that, it also allows us to do things with your privilege. And I think that is why we're doing this and why we do a lot of the things that we do, because it's not just saying thanks to all that hard work.
Yeah.
And it's not just sitting here in privilege saying, thanks for working hard, guys.
Thank you.
It's also saying, I'm going to do my end of this also. So while you do your part, we have to also do ours in our space of privilege.
Yes.
By speaking out, by making sure that we're spending our money in the right places. And I'm not saying that I have to spend a lot of money set. This is a set, and it actually is a curtain, and it comes down. Just kidding. But anyways, we actually have to use our privileges, and I think that's a big part of what you're saying.
And staying home for that is a part of that privilege. It is that. It's not taking that for granted.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have you have a platform to speak and use the platform?
Thank you. If you are out there, if you're frontline working, if you are, and when I say frontline working, I mean like where do we get our food? Who's in our markets? Who's delivering that?
I went to Shoppers Drug Mart the other day.
Right? Like.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being there so that I could go.
People doing public transportation to get around. The people, there's so many, and of course, hospital workers and people who are working there. So I'm just full of so much emotion on that, and I'm just very grateful.
Yeah. I think about just the regular parents that are out there, they're taking a lot of risks. You work in a grocery store as a cashier, you're probably not rolling up in your car while your other partner works at the gas station, or I don't know, basic everyday jobs that you might take for granted. Those people have to go to work. They might hopping on public transit. They're taking a lot more risks, and they're having to they didn't get a break. They didn't get a break to work on self-love or sit on the couch and stuff. You know what I mean? They had to keep going. And it's hard because media is pushing so much fear out there, and they had to get up and go to work every day. I don't know who sat home and are so scared and they wouldn't go anywhere out of fear. And this guy, there's people that are like, I actually won't be able to pay rent, and I actually won't be able to feed myself, let alone if I have children or anything else. So I have no choice, and I'm scared as shit, and I gotta go anyways.
And when I sit in that energy stream and that feeling, I just get so emotional with gratitude and thanks. Exactly what you just said. The people who are, I don't have the choice. I have to go do this. Yeah. So, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I am grateful for my ability to let go of what no longer serves me. I know that I can walk away, that I am okay, that anything I want from another person, I can give to myself. And when this assurance fades in certain moments, because it does, I have the coping skills to remind myself of the truth and hold myself in love, respect, honor, and safety. I know that I am enough and that I'm okay. And I got through 2020, and I am grateful for that.
We did get through 2020.
We did. Yes. And there was a lot of looking back that I could have done, and I didn't always do it. I am tethered from a lot of things. And I definitely know that I sleep sound, and I'm fine. And I'm fine, and I know that. And I do truly believe in my heart that anything that I would want from someone else, I know that I can give to myself.
For sure.
And I think that
for sure.
I think that that's a new one for me. And external validation was a really heavy weight on my existence, and I feel like I've untethered from a lot of that need. And obviously, it's still there. We're a human.
Yeah.
working through this thing called life, as the artist formerly known as would sing. But yeah, that's my third.
So now the next step is going to be our goal list. What are we trying to manifest?
Yes.
Here we go.
What are we manifesting?
All right. That's our goal list.
Yep. All done.
Okay. So for me, for the next 28 days, I actually only think I have one predominant goal. I have one. And that goal is to work on my temple, work on my physical self. I'm going to spend my time working on my fitness and
I had to do everything in my body not to start singing the Lizzo song.
what? Oh no.
Okay. The Lizzo fitness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, continue.
Working on my fitness.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, and just doing not just my actual fitness, I mean my diet and my cycles that I'm on and what cadences I naturally fall into and if they serve me, and working on my physical self, because I believe if this garden is fertile, then this life will be fertile.
Thanks.
Yeah. What about you?
That's true. Well, I have a little bit of a list here. So
Aries.
Stay on a schedule for homeschooling. I am not made for homeschooling. Me learning at home. My stuff, yes. Me teaching and supervising and organizing grade 3, no. So my goal is to not set myself up for failure, but instead prepare just as I would prepare for a regular day at school. I pack the lunch before I go to bed and make sure the bags are packed, the clothes are picked out. I have everything organized, but when it comes to homeschooling, I keep putting it off and I procrastinate very hard on the preparation that I need to make that run smoothly. So I'm going to make sure that I do that. I'm going to make sure I stay on a schedule and I follow through on it. And that way I can be less reactive to being super frustrated and doing things I don't want to do nor like. So, that's what I'm going to do, because guess what? School is out till the end of the month in this quarantine life. Okay, moving on. Next thing, which also will help with that, is going to bed on time. I was doing really good. I do really good when I have external schedules to follow and external expected time frames. And when I don't have those, and when it's on the computer, sign in on the computer time, that's not real to me. So it's not real to me. I can just not look at my computer, and then it's not real. It doesn't exist. So I have to stay on the schedule, which means going to bed and getting the proper sleep, because if I don't, I will literally stay up all night. I could stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning and then force myself to go to bed. So I really have to, again, back to the scheduling, self-maintained scheduling. I've made a promise to myself and I was doing it and I started slacking. Why? Because the schedule stuff. But I'm going to make sure that I'm doing meditation when I wake up and before I go to bed. So my plan is to get back on that. My other goal is to match whatever I'm consuming with the energy that I'm putting out.
That's fantastic. That's a good one.
Yep. And when I think I was doing pretty good again, schedule lost, I get all messed up. And I was doing 20 minutes of physical exercise, and I was always going for those walks. So I was going for a 45 minute crazy walk all around the city, and it was great in the morning. So I was getting different counting steps, I was getting almost like 20,000 steps a day, which was great. And then that's gone. So I got to get back into something. And then my other thing was I have like a long-term self-purpose goals. And so part of that is like focusing and still working on all the certifications, one of which I finished today. Thank you. 8 more to go. And so I'm going to do that. Still sending out resumes, looking for jobs without selling myself short and just taking anything, but actually focusing in on what fits and what I want. And doing movement, dancing, doing something like that. I just want to make sure that I'm turning music on and dancing and playing and still having that. I think it's important to not lose the joy and the play, at least even if it's for like 10 minutes. And then I put in to make a conscious effort to not compare myself and trust the process. And these are just, sounds like a lot, but
there's a lot.
It sounds like a lot, but I think that these things are quick. Like to not compare could mean that if I am comparing, to recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it could be just as simple as that. Like I'm not saying that I have to like do some big thing. It would just be like if I have that moment, if I'm cruising the gram, I'm gonna just close it if I catch myself doing that and take a beat. Trusting the process. Again, if I start worrying and getting overwhelmed with like the future and I'm like not this and that's not looking like the picture, take a beat. It can just be as easy as that. So those are my goals. It's not a finishing thing. It's not a finish line that I'm getting to, but I want to know that at the end of this cycle that I'm going to go, I followed through with doing these and living this way. I don't even know what the end of 28 days of if I follow through every single day for 28 days what it will look like, but that's what I'm going to do. So we shall see, and you shall see too, because
we'll be sitting here again.
I'm pretty sure I'll be right here 28 days talking about it. So, yeah.
All right. So now we have our gratitude list. We have our goal list. The next part is the activation work. Now, everyone does this a little bit differently. A lot of the times people want to, you can burn them, you can seal it with wax, you can smudge them, you can put them in jars of honey, you can
tear it up, rip it up,
dig it, put it in the earth. But the point is, once you set the goal and the expectation, then it's time to just let the universe do its work. Sometimes the energy streams look a little bit different as it comes into your life, and you have to release what your expectation, again, coming back to that, is of how it comes to you. The point is you have done the work, and it is time to return it, release it, transmute it.
Yeah. So I think it's important to remember sometimes when we really, really want something and we're holding on to it so much that we are actually reminding ourselves of what we lack versus inviting it in. So if you're holding on to like the idea of how much you want something, you're actually reminding everything around you. You're vibrating in a place of lacking.
Yes.
And you need to, that's why it's important to say what you want, what your goals are, and what you hope for and all that. But then like let it go and trust in the process.
Yeah.
Really trust that the universe wants you to get all these things. That like the higher powers that be want you to live out your purpose so that you can give back your best self.
Yeah, and because it's all about vibration. When you are in your optimal state and getting in gratitude, then you are vibrating. And at the end of the day, vibrations are felt by everything around us, the flowers, the people, everything. It's all natural hermetics. So.
Yeah.
So let's do
So destroy or shit. Destroy it.
All right, so activation is done.
Yes. Put away
Put away and release.
Let it go. Release it. Trust the process. Trust the universe. Trust Mother Moon.
Trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
We are the magic. Because at the end of the day, we are stardust.
That's another video. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull an oracle card. We have this beautiful deck from Hay House, Moonology Oracle Cards by Yasmin Boland, an artwork done by Nix Rowan. It's a 44 card deck. And oracle cards are not like tarot necessarily. It's more just like your intuition and it's like guidance more. It's a little more vague, so I feel like you can kind of adjust it to whatever your goals are, which is basically what we're going to do. We're adjusting it to the goals that we just set, and we're using this to kind of help steer us and get a little our intuition fired up and use that internal fire magic to lead us.
One of the great things about the Moonology deck is that there's actually another companion daytime planner. So it's a whole year calendar in it. It has the different moon cycles are on it, and it actually goes along really well with these cards. Fantastic set. I recommend them.
Yes, they're really beautiful. They're actually really like thick and lush.
Yeah, I like the weight of these cards, you know?
Really nice.
All right, let's pull some cards.
So, let the moon be your guide.
All right. That is wild.
That's great. So, I pulled a bunch and I looked at all of them, and then I reshuffled them until I pulled my top card. I love to pull a top card. I like to shuffle and then know that like the cards are gonna also go where they need to go, and it's gonna be my top card. And this was the first card that I read in the first round, and it's the card that I ended up having in my reshuffle. So I got Luck is on Your Side, New Moon in Sagittarius.
Love it. I had this jumper, and I had the one that I kept looking at, and they're total opposites. Literal total opposites. So the one that was resonating to me more is a fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. I like me some fiery Aries. I like that. She's Aries. So that's exciting. But what's interesting is I also got nothing will come of that situation.
I'm never going to sleep with you. It's never going to happen.
It's not about you. Can you guys comment below about your Aries friends who always make it about them?
Whatever. Okay. So the fiery new moon.
Yeah.
It's time to see if you've been a little bit too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants. But you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. Attune to the moon. Be nice, be kind, smile, and be polite as you navigate to where you want to be. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. So mine is New Moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side.
New Moon in...
Look. Sagittarius.
These are the ones that I won. Luck is on your side. Okay.
Luck is on your side. Okay.
Whatever is coming your way, it looks set to put a smile on your face.
Oh.
The new moon in Sagittarius can mark a restart of fun after a period of feeling low. The energy is adventurous and even willing to take a few risks. But be careful you don't bet the farm on something here, as the wheel of fortune is still spinning. This card is about exploring life metaphorically, by exchanging big ideas with others, or just thinking about your own philosophies. Perhaps it's time to change your mind about something important. It can also signal that a trip is coming your way. Oh my God, yes.
Please. And not a trip to the fucking mall or something. I'm talking like a real trip.
Like
overseas.
Ibiza. Like
Take me to freaking Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. Oh my God. Paris.
Paris.
This summer. Okay, read my card.
But the overall message of this card is that whatever happens next will be some sort of gift, even if that simply means widening your worldview. Attuned to the moon. Count your blessings literally. Write them down and say them out loud. Yeah, check.
Yeah. On the way.
Additional meanings. You need to laugh more. This is a wonderful time to start a course or study. Don't be narrow-minded. Start a week of gratitude practice.
On the right track.
And the teaching. Sagittarius is the sign of fun, travel, exploration, and a great cosmic quest. It's the sign of big ideas. The energy is expansive, upbeat, lucky, and divine. The new moon in Sagittarius alludes to all of this, as does this card whenever you draw it. Nothing is set in stone with Sagittarius, and an optimistic energy could attract all matter of good things if you tap into the energy of expecting the best.
What?
Okay, so we encourage you guys to also do a little bit of divination. Get out your pendulum, get out some cards, tarot, oracle, all kinds of things, whatever your modality is for, even crystal picking, crystal healing, any of that.
I know sometimes when if I'm doing any of these things alone, I do candle carving. So I might actually carve my intentions into a candle if I want to use color, a specific color for a candle. Again, you can always use white or black to replace any other color. I really like to do that. You can make sigils. However you connect. Like, I think it's important to find whatever works for you. And again, what you have access to.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I love that you brought up our candle because this is a little arcana tradition that we're going to be having here. It's a part of our practice. Generally, we always have a candle that we do for moon ceremonies. So what we do is we take our candle carver and we put in usually either the sign that the new moon or full moon is in, and we put that into it. Or sometimes, depending on the work that we're doing, we'll end up putting a sigil on it. We end up using different essential oils and all kinds of lovely things.
Spices.
So this is our lovely candle for the first moon ceremony of 2021.
Yay.
Let's carve.
Welcome.
And with that, friends, our new moon in Capricorn is dawn. Thank you for spending the night with us.
Yes, thank you.
I hope you had fun and learned something. We always like to see how everyone else celebrates, and we thought we would share with what we generally do as well.
Yeah, for sure. And doing it with you.
We'll see you at the next new moon.
Much love. Take care. Stay safe.
Namaste.
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 Namaste. Namaste.